This is Dawn. Welcome to Gulf Coast October. This video is about something called California Google Cagoogle and PicsArt, and how I am painstakingly trying to unravel. PicsArt scammed me. They scammed my bank. There's all these videos on YouTube about how wonderful PicsArt is, but I'm wondering, where's the videos or the information for those of us who've been scammed by them and we cannot get them to give us our money back? So that's what this video is about. I'm making this video to help other people that feel like they're losing their minds because they cannot figure out, what is this charge from California Google Cagoogle? Why is my bank allowing it? And then finding out this whole time it was PicsArt, and I canceled my subscription. They didn't give me my money back. So even though they kept the money, they took away my right to use PicsArt for anything other than the simple stuff. Yeah, it's me venting, but it's not fair. People like PicsArt, I'm just so sick of this. Everything is based in corruption and scam, and they look a certain way, so they get away with it with even the institutions without anybody having to know where this is coming out from, and they don't have to show themselves on the Google purchase history report. It's ridiculous, so hang out for that. Hey guys, okay, my name's Dawn again. Welcome back in case you are not one of my normal people. When I started YouTube, I needed a video editor app because I just could not figure out how to do DaVinci Resolve. I'd been working on it for a couple of years, never figured it out. Quite a few people suggested PicsArt, they loved it. I didn't know how to navigate it, so I paid 6 months is what I agreed to, thinking that it meant I was paying for the rights to use the music that was offered through PicsArt. Later, fine details said I wasn't, but all that got lost in how much is going on PicsArt. So I think they kind of count on that, for one, that it's hard for some people to navigate through, and so then you do all this work and then you get a copyright strike and a copyright claim. You get one or the other. So I got copyright strike, so I was like, no, I worked too hard on that video. I paid what I thought I was paying for. So I figured out how to cancel it. And the only thing, paper trail, I can find today is this thing where I emailed them and I said, please make sure. I'd already addressed to them about the copyright strikes. I can't find that information. I feel like that was on the phone. I remember back then you could actually contact somebody on the phone. But this email was another reminder, please do not charge me again. And this one was talking about how they don't let you know how much space that you need on your phone to upload stuff. Where Video Guru, which is what I use all the time, and it's not without its quirks, it's not perfect, but if I try to save my video and I don't have enough space, it will tell me how much space I need to clear. So PicsArt, to me, it's really fun. They do offer a lot of things as far as artistic outlet, etc. But for me, it was not worth it. I didn't want to pay $60 for 6 months. I canceled it, and even though I canceled it, they did not refund my money, and they took away my right to use the PicsArt features. So I was, at this point, all of my thumbnails that you see on my videos, I do make through PicsArt, but I do the free version. I shouldn't have to feel guilty and be like, well, they charged me and I only got to use the free stuff, but I got to use the free stuff, so therefore it's okay that they charged me. No, that's not how that works. The free thing is free for a reason, but it bombards you with ads. But the thing I know now is that if your information is attached to that in any way, I feel like they can bypass it because they're claiming that they are Google. I trusted them because of all the videos I saw on YouTube, and they were connected to Google Play, which now I know means nothing. Anything can be connected to Google Play. It doesn't mean it's safe. It doesn't mean that they have honorable intentions behind their whole purpose of their application that people are going to want to use. They make it addicting for a reason. They also make it very, very confusing if you need to cease and dismiss your relationship with that company. Also, just because it's connected to the Google Play Store does not mean it's going to show up in your Google transactions. Nowhere at any time did any of my transactions with these people that claim that they are going through Google, did any of this show up in my Google transactions. So if you look here, this is all my transactions around the time that they charged me, which was on May 10th. You could see where I bought some things. I've supported some content creators. There's even a refund in there somewhere because when YouTube and Google Pay merged, I couldn't access the movies that I paid for. So I got a refund, and it worked. I got a refund like Google should. But with things that are claiming that they're Google, like PicsArt, they don't have to play by the rules because they're hiding behind this facade of we are a civilized company, we're following the rules, we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing. But they're liars, so be careful. I paid for an editing app that was not delivering what I needed. I needed free music, and I needed to be able to know how much room I needed to clear every time I save videos because I'm a content creator and my phone is always pretty full. They could not offer those two things. I canceled, did not get my money back, was not allowed to use the paid features even though they still had my money. And what I didn't know is that they had it set up so that if I touched anything on the screen trying to back out, it would charge me. So they have this thing like how the Google Play Store is, which to me is completely corrupt. If an ad or something pops up, Google Play, you cannot back out. Have you ever just turned off your entire phone to get out of a forced Google Play ad? They don't let you out. So PicsArt, I think, has a technology similar to that. You think you're backing out, you think you're hitting the X, and it's quietly, secretly charging you. You agree to something without even knowing it, and there's no trail. There's no email. There's no letter in the mail. There's no text confirmation. There's nothing. How did I figure this out? Well, one day I'm looking at my account, and there's this $61 charge from Google, California, Cagoogle. I'm like, what the heck is that? Google it. Cannot find it anywhere. I look at my Google Play history. Can't find it anywhere. Went to the bank. They cannot figure out what Google, Cagoogle, California is. I'm like, okay. I drove around town to every little place I'd been asking, is this y'all? And everybody would look and be like, no. This one lady at a shop I go to said, that looks fraudulent. So I kept going back to the bank, back and forth. And the lady said, look, the only way to figure out what this is to file a complaint charge. I'm like, okay. I file a complaint charge about this as fraudulent. I even have a confirmation number. It says we always strive to provide you with important information to help manage your banking relationship. With this receipt, we're confirming that on 5/23/2022, we received your claim disputing transactions on this card ending in this number. The bank temporarily, mind you, paid me back the $61.17. Okay. And they said, you have got to wait 10 days, 10 business days before you spend it. So like 15 days later, I go back to the bank and I'm like, hey bank, listen, can I spend this now? I'm broke, I need the money. And they're like, you are in the clear, don't worry about it. So I spent the money because it was my money and I needed it for something. The next day in the mail, I get this from my bank. And nowhere on it is there a date other than the day that what they are now calling Google California, even though on my other records it says Cagoogle, California Google. $61.17. Documentation was provided by the merchant that shows you participated in a transaction and or received merchandise. Doesn't mean that I agreed to it. It just means I participated. The banking systems do not have to honor some of the things that they say that they'll help you with in case that there's a scam. They don't have to honor it as long as the company, fraudulent or not, says, well, she agreed to it. The bank is like, oh, we are so sorry. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. She agreed to it. I am so sorry. You know what? We're gonna take that money back and we're gonna give it back to you. So Regions is taking the money back from me, and it's looking like they're gonna give it back to PicsArt, California Google, Cagoogle, which by the way does not show up anywhere in my Google history of purchases. Okay, today was the day that Regions was supposed to take that money out of my account. Thank God today is Saturday. They can't do it till Monday. So I've been scrambling nickel and diming trying to scrounge up money to put into my bank account so that when they take the 61 plus money out of my account, I don't end up in a world of a mess. Other people that are accidentally getting caught up in this, that money comes out. Their rent is going to bounce. Their electricity is going to bounce. They're going to the grocery store. It's going to bounce. PicsArt, you're ruthless. Shame on you. I know that I canceled this last year. So there's either two things that are happening. One, they blatantly ignored me. They kept my money, and I could only use the free app, even though they kept my money. And then they secretly had signed me up for an annual renewal. Or it's that one-touch shop thing that so many things have now, where you barely even touch anything, even if you're just trying to escape out of the screen, and it has a way of getting into your system and charging you without your permission, and they don't have to have a paper trail. One of the reasons Regions is not honoring my end of it, even though they've been banking with me forever, and even though PicsArt was so hard to get a hold of, like you couldn't get a hold of them until you wanted your money back. Couldn't even get any information out of them until they couldn't get money out of me. It wasn't until I had cut up my card because of them that now they started getting really forceful with me again. Now, every single time I tried to use the free part of PicsArt for thumbnails that everybody's allowed to use supposedly, it kept popping up this thing saying, your credit card's expired. That felt like gaslighting. My credit card didn't expire. My card was cut up, you sons of bitches, because y'all stole money from me without telling me. There was this one point when I canceled the subscription a year ago where I remember them telling me, it's okay, don't worry, we are taking your information out of our system. They lied. But they did that over the phone. Therefore, there's no paper trail. Therefore, they don't have to be held accountable. PicsArt is crooked. Watch it if you're getting onto these apps. If PicsArt's doing it, I'm sure a lot of the other ones are doing it. You have to really be careful, because even though if you look on YouTube right now, the majority of the videos is how wonderful and fun PicsArt is, I don't know if this will ever get into rotation for anybody searching to find out, what is California Google Cagoogle? What is that? Did PicsArt charge me? I don't know if it'll ever get into rotation, because it doesn't fare well for the way that our culture is now, where everything is allowed to fluff and cover up all the bad things that they do. That's going to have to be my metaphor for toxic positivity. Yes, we scam you, but look at how fun it is in the meantime. No, it's not. I've been dealing with this for over a month, and I'm still dealing with it because come Monday, they're taking out that money. I lost the $61. I don't get to use the PicsArt paid for applications, and this is the second time now I've been charged. So now I'm over $120 out, not being able to use the parts of PicsArt that you pay for, just using the free part that everybody is welcome to use, and feeling like I'm kind of being gaslit in the process when PicsArt is the one that's being crooked. You know, initially I chalked it up to a dummy tax. I messed up. I'm neurodivergent. I fell for something that most people know not to fall for. Fool me once, shame on you, but fool me twice, shame on me. So right now I'm having this ridiculous amount of guilt because they're still able to con me, because there's something in cahoots now where banking systems are allowing fraudulent companies that have unethical practices to do what they want. So just keep that in mind when we're out there giving our money to PicsArt and whatever, Google stuff. I don't know if it's Google Play because it didn't show up in my history, but they are claiming it's Google. Even when I filed a report with Google, they're like, we don't have anything on our system that says that you ever made this purchase. This is not us. This is something else. You need to go to your bank. Bank said, no, it's not us. You need to take it up with PicsArt. PicsArt's like, not us. You already got onto us. We don't have to deal with you anymore at all. They told me in this that they are no longer having any kind of communication with me. They're crooked. I figured out it was PicsArt. I didn't know it was PicsArt. The reason why I figured out I started having a hunch it was PicsArt is because when I cut up my credit card, they started sending emails that said, it's okay to take a break. I'm like, I never took a break. I've been using your free feature. But you're saying it's okay for me to take a break? First of all, nobody gives me permission of when I can and can't take a break besides me right now. So first of all, PicsArt, you can just shut your mouth and go boss somebody else around, because it's not me, it's not today. You might have got $120 out of me and I'm not able to use the features that we paid all that money for. You stole money out of somebody that gets taken advantage of. That's your stick. That's your angle. Shame on you. But I'm making this video and I'm putting it out there. PicsArt's probably going to find out about this video and they're probably going to get their little feelings hurt because now somebody called them out. Watch out for PicsArt. Watch out for things just because they're on Google Play. Watch your bank account. Watch it closely. And when there's something that you can't even Google, they make it so hard you cannot figure it out and fix it. Don't trust these people. I either agreed to a 6 months last year that they didn't cancel when I requested, and instead they signed me up for a year to teach me a lesson. Or they have that Play Store technology. Anything you click, even the X, even the back button, will charge you quietly. No confirmation, no email, no text, nothing. They make it impossible to deal with them on purpose because most people are just going to give up and move on, and it's just too much to deal with. They know this. They count on it. The bank said their hands are tied. PicsArt's claiming their hands are tied. Google is like, we don't even know what this is. And today, I don't know about you, but I don't have $61 for this crap. I don't have $61 to just be like, oh, they got me again. No, I have a teenager. We're both on the spectrum. We both have to do things a certain way. I homeschool. I have a very traditional mom type of thing where I have to do things a certain way all the time. I mean, we are eating rice for dinner right now. I budget in a way so that my teenager and I can have a budget and we can go out and we can, like, go to a thrift store or the stuff that we do, the garage sales, goofing off, junking around. I am not willing to trade that to give into the pockets of scam artists who have more than enough money because they are very, very, very good at this. I am not going to be contributing to the delinquency of and that's what PicsArt is. I can't go out this weekend now with my teenager. We can't even go to garage sales right here for probably the next 2-3 weeks because of this dang thing. We're trapped at home because of PicsArt, because of the way technology is now. And they really, really want the right to be able to get in cahoots with the banking systems and everything. They look civilized, they package it pretty, they're professional. They figured out their loopholes they can jump through so that it becomes very, very difficult to find out who these people are. Now, in your case, Cagoogle might not be PicsArt. It might be somebody else. Who knows? But regardless, if you've got a charge that says something like Cagoogle and you have no idea what it is, think about any apps that you've been affiliated with in the past year. Contact them and say, hey, is this you? They might admit it. They might not. I don't know. But that was our experience with Google, California, Cagoogle, and PicsArt. And I put this out here for a warning for everybody because these people,